Hi guys, good morning. Welcome to the channel. My name is Niladri Mukherjee and I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. I practice here in Guelph, Ontario. The reason for me to come live is because I just realized that this is just like so much better. I really do not have to spend a lot of time in post processing and whatnot, and nobody is really watching this video for the finest processing, anyways. So, hence, this live stream. Now, the topic that I'm going to address today is how much funds do you really need to have in your bank account or otherwise if you're to apply for a visit visa or a tourist visa to Canada. Now, this is a very common question that people, like almost everybody, have before they venture into the visit visa thing. What really you have to understand is that there is no such definite figure, there is no such definite number. Also, what you have to understand is that in this case, this is simply like the more the merrier, right? But this also does not mean that if you have like $100,000 sitting in your bank account, there is a guarantee that you will get the visa. And if you have like $10,000 sitting in your bank account, you will not get the visa. This is not like that. This really varies from country to country, where are you coming from. This also depends on the distance from your country to Canada. Let me give you an example. If you are coming from, say, for example, India or Nigeria, you will probably pay around $1,000 to $1,500 for one-way airfare to Canada. Now, as compared to that, if you're coming from a country which is nearby, say for example Cuba, you may be paying half of that. So the amount of funds that somebody needs from Cuba to apply for a visit visa to Canada would be very, very different from somebody that is applying either from Nigeria or India. In a nutshell, it really depends on how much money you should really need to, for your return airfare, how much money you should need for your accommodation, your food, and to meet your other travel expenses. You should be able to prove that either you have that much amount of money in your bank account, or you should be having that much amount of money in your bank account, either in the form of some regular income, such as your salary, such as your dividend, etc., before you travel to Canada. But realistically speaking, it is always a good idea to show a stable bank account wherein you really have a good amount of money. Now, there is a lot of people that do not trust their banking system, that do not trust, they may not get sufficient interest in the banking system, hence they do not keep a lot of money in the bank account, which is fair. Even in Canada, we do not get any interest if we keep our money either in the in the savings account. So if you really talk about the Canadians, they really do not have more than, I don't think, more than $4,000 to $5,000 sitting in the bank account anyways. And most of these countries, from where people basically willing to visit, such as India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, or even a good part of Africa and Middle East, they have a lot of money sitting in their bank account as compared to what a typical Canadian would. So you really have to figure out what is your potential expenses going to be. Calculate your airfare, calculate your food, calculate your travel expenses or otherwise your tourism expenses. Put some buffer money in the bank. Have something, have some kind of buffer for insurance as well, and then have some buffer for something emergency fund as well. Now, you should have at least that much amount of money in your bank account at the time you apply for a visa. Now, I know I'm commonly talking about bank account, but if you do not put your money in the bank account, you should have this money in the liquid form, right? If you put all the cash in your home, you somehow have to prove that you have money. So do not please take a photograph of the cash and attach it to the attach it to the application letter. Actually, one people have actually done that. That will not be accepted. But some form of liquid form of investment is acceptable as well if you are not really interested, or you're not really believe I mean, you do not believe in putting a lot of money in the bank account. But really, this does not mean that if you have a lot of money in your bank account, your visa will be accepted. Vis-a-vis, if you do not have a sufficient money in your bank account, your visa will be denied. You need to have sufficient amount. The definition of sufficient amount really varies from the country to country, where you're coming from, and it all boils down to how you are able to join the dots, how you're able to prove that you will leave Canada at the end of the stay. The amount of money is just one aspect of the that the officer looks through to decide the fate of your application. This is not the only aspect. And another misconception that a lot of people have is that they keep on accumulating money over a period of 3 months or 6 months before they apply for a visa. Well, if you have extra money, you're good to do that. If you do not have that kind of flexibility or liberty, you really do not have to show like a proof of fund like the way you otherwise show in case of your provincial nomination or your PR system, right? You really have no reason to show that because it's your money. Why do you keep your money unnecessarily in the bank account for you to apply for a visit visa maybe 6 months down the line? You really do not have to do that. At the time of the application, as long as you're able to prove that those are your money, or if somebody has provided you in the form of a gift, prove that you have actually received that as a gift and not as a loan, and that you have enough money to carry on all your expenses. The government thinks it from the perspective is that you should not come to Canada and say that, you know what, I do not have enough money and I'm not going to leave Canada. But because in that case, the government will have to spend the tax dollars to make you, leave Canada. The government doesn't want to do that. They had to do that in some cases in the past. I'm sure they're doing it right now as well. But that's the extreme situation, and that the government doesn't want to do that. The government also doesn't want a situation wherein you have to go for a hospitalization, God forbid, if something happens, and you say that I do not have enough money, you have to take care of my expenses, right? Which is why the more the merrier, is what I've said. So make sure to prepare your application well. Do not need to keep on accumulating money for a significant period of time just for the sake of application for a visit visa. If you are a salaried employee, you should be able to show a stable income coming onto your bank account. Maybe at the beginning of the month or at the end of the month, maybe for a period of 4 to 5 months. So if you are a salaried employee, it is always a good idea to show the salary statement for the previous 3 to 4 months. That really gives sort of a stability of your income. If you are self-employed, if you are somebody that does business, I'm sure you have some ways of having your money in the bank account as well. So do that. So that's pretty much about it. Tomorrow morning, I am planning to talk about birth tourism, because that is a topic that I'm getting quite a lot. And there is a question that I'm getting quite a lot that I thought to address in the form of a live session. I'm really not sure about the time at this point. I'm trying to have it in between 8 to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in Toronto, but I will see. So anyways, if you need my professional assistance, let me know, send me an email, contact@nuvonation.ca, and shall be glad to assist. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.